Yeah, thanks guys for coming out. We're at March 1st this week. What we're basically going to talk about is this checklist that I give all of my clients anytime I'm setting up a listing. Usually this is at the listing appointment where I go in and check out the house. I'll drop this off with the folder and my card and everything. Basically just a 20-step checklist of things to think about if you're going to list your property. And these are, what's that? Sorry, man. And these are just things to think about to get you ready for when you do go on MLS. So, and you can look over these with me as I'm going through. They're pretty basic stuff. The first thing on here is make the most of the first impression. Basically what that means is do landscaping, have the yard, the grass cut, any kind of flowers planted, things like that. Anything when the buyer pulls up, they're gonna look at the house and they're gonna think it looks nice out. You don't want to have a car up on blocks or the grass 10 inches long and stuff all over the yard. You want to make sure that it's well manicured and they just have a good first impression when they go in there. The second one is invest a few hours for future dividends. Essentially what that means is clean up. Have things like the carpets cleaned, minor redecorations or renovations. If you've got unfinished projects at the house that maybe you forgot about a couple months ago, just kind of wrap those things up and just put in a little work, make the house look nice. The third one, check faucets and bulbs. You don't want leaky faucets. People notice that every time. It also can rust out the bottom of your sink or your bathtub if those keep dripping for a long time. And light bulbs. When people go in and they flip a switch, if one of the bulbs is out, they notice it every time. I've had people in there a bunch of times, or they say it's dark, you know what I mean? You might want to think about using brighter wattage bulbs in some of the rooms if there's not a lot of natural light or something like that. Number 4, this one's kind of funny. Don't shut out a sale. This is for swollen doors. So doors can flex inside of their, the doorway. So if you have doors that are sticking or they won't close all the way, you just get a planer. It's real simple. It doesn't take very long. You can just shave off a little bit of the top or the bottom of it just so it'll close smoothly. People notice that every time, especially if they're sticking and they got to shove on it or pull on a door. Let's see. Think safety is number 5. Clear the paths that you're used to. You're used to walking around your house. You know where things are. If you've got an extension cord that's going across to, have something plugged in, somebody might not see that if they're looking around, at the door or like looking around the room. You don't want them tripping on something. Also clear the clutter. If the kids are putting stuff on the steps, you don't want like a banana peel in the hallway or a skate on the steps. Make room for space. Now, when you're selling, you're probably moving anyway, so you're probably going to need a storage space to get ready to get all your stuff out. You want to minimalize each room so it looks bigger to people. My biggest piece of advice on this one is do not turn your garage into your storage unit. Because people will go in there and they'll just turn right around. They'll be like, oh man, they can't even go in there sometimes. There's boxes piled to the ceiling. You can't even walk 2 feet into the garage. So minimalize your stuff, buy a storage unit, it'll be worth it in the end. You want people to be able to move freely through all the rooms, including that garage or your basement. I've seen them in the basement too, where people will stack everything they own down in the basement in one corner getting ready. Consider your closets, just organize them. Maybe if you are packing up for a move, just keep some essentials in there. You know what I mean? If there's a little bit of clothes in there and they're organized well, it'll make the closets actually look larger. And and the more organized they are, the better. I've seen them where you open up a closet and clothes fall out, or there's a hamper that's completely stuffed full and kind of overflowing on the floor, or shoes piled up on one side. Just make everything look nice and neat, and that goes along with the cleaning up and the organizing as well. Let's see. Do you guys know what the 2 most important rooms in any house are when you're selling?
Bathroom and kitchen.
Bathrooms and kitchens. Those are the ones. Did you know that? Did you really? That's awesome, man. So yeah, when when you're getting ready, make sure that those 2 rooms are the nicest. You know what I mean? Clean them up. If you don't have a more modern kitchen or bathroom, or you haven't done any renovations there in a while, make sure it's as clean as it possibly can be. It makes a huge difference. You want to get down on the floor, scrub the tiles, make sure the grout's clean, even in maybe like do some recaulking in the bathroom, along the sink and in the tub, or along the backsplash, right before the backsplash on the counters. Just make everything look clean and tight, and that'll make a huge difference, especially if there's not any major upgrades or anything like that. Create dream bedrooms is number 9. Get rid of excess stuff. You want it to look as big as possible. So maybe a bed and a dresser, and that's it. You don't want to have like a ton of stuff in there. Make it feel like they can imagine themselves in there, but you don't want to overwhelm them saying, man, there's so much in here. I can't imagine how we would set this up. Number 10, open up in the daytime. This essentially means use natural light to your advantage. You want to have windows open and curtains pulled for when someone's coming in. You know, that way there's more light in there. They can see everything. It just feels better when you walk into a house and it's wide open. You know what I mean? You don't want all the blinds down. You don't want the curtains pulled. It's going to be dark in there. So just open it up. 11, lighten up at night.